What's up, guys? In this video, I want to talk to you about a very special person to me, a person who was like an angel to me in life, and the only person that I ever would consider anything of a mentor or teacher to me. The only person that I held in such high regard that I would listen to, regardless of whether I agreed or not. And that person is Dr. Gloria Lowe. Okay, she and I met when I was very young in life, probably around 12 or 13 years old. And the way we met was because I was in a lot of trouble already at that young age. I'd been thrown out of a couple schools. I was on probation. I'd been involved in the legal system already multiple times. As a result of that, I had probation, and one of the terms of the probation was that I needed to get regular therapy. And it was such a difficult thing for me because I went from one therapist, one psychologist to the next. And basically, I wasn't willing to work with any of these people because I saw right through them. I felt like this is bullshit and these people are just here to take my money. And I was basically not complying at all with anything. I was just sitting there and not participating, and I saw right through these people. And after going through so many different people, I ended up in her office. And she is a psychologist, and she worked out of her home in New Jersey. She had a separate space as an office. And in the beginning, initially, I was very, closed with, like, my guard was up with her. And again, I wasn't really willing to open up to her. But after meeting with her a couple times, right from the start, I knew something was different about her. I sensed something very different about her. And after a couple times, I did open up to her and we started talking. And I felt that this was something very special. This person in front of me is a very special person. And then something happened where I was no longer able to afford to pay for the therapy. Even at that young age, I had to pay for this shit. And it was a lot of money. If I remember correctly, it was like $100 a session. So very shortly after, after a couple sessions, I came to her and I told her, I said, Gloria, I like that talking to you. I think you can help me a lot, but I can't pay for this. I can't afford it anymore, so I'm sorry. I'm not going to come anymore. I'm going to go find somewhere else that's cheaper that I could afford. And this thing that she said to me after was one of the key moments in my changing my thoughts about her and realizing how special she was. She looked at me and she said, all I want to do is help you. You don't need to pay me anything. I want you to keep coming back to me. I want you to come back to me, and I'm going to help you. And I'm going to do it for free. I don't need your money. And she hugged me. And when that happened, again, like I just said, guys, I realized this is a very special person. Very special. So I continued in therapy, in receiving therapy from her. And I ended up in jail, in juvenile detention. She went to bat for me in every way possible. She was writing letters to the judges. She was coming to the jail to visit me when she could. She always sent me books. Just unbelievable what this lady did. And me, I just kept fucking up over and over again. And no matter how many times I fucked up, she was there for me. She was always there for me. I remember during solitary confinement, my first time as a juvenile, real young, she was the only one who was writing me letters. It was her letters that kept me going, that kept my sanity in place and allowed me to get through to the next day. And so we continued in our therapy until those things happened. I went to jail, and when I was no longer on probation, I wasn't required to have this anymore. And she stayed my friend, and she always wanted to help me. And aside from helping me in that way, she opened my eyes to so many different things in life that I had never known about. She taught me different things and gave me different books. We discussed different concepts and philosophies. And she took me out to places that I would never have gone otherwise. She took me to Broadway shows. She took me to fancy restaurants, French restaurants, We went to the Tribeca Film Festival, and she did all this for me when I was just a fuck up juvenile delinquent. And she would pay for this for me, and she would always be there for me no matter what. No matter what. And I grew to love her so much for those things that she did for me. And our friendship continued, and I ended up going through a lot more difficulty. We lost touch for a little while, but we're always in communication in some way. And she even saved me from committing suicide one time. I was like 18 years old, and I was all fucked up, drunk, out of my mind, ready to shoot myself. And I called her. She was the only person I could think of in life to call. And she stayed on the phone with me for hours. And she convinced me that I shouldn't do this. And she showed me so much love in that regard that the reason I say in the title and in the beginning of the video that this is my only mentor in life, and I really mean that. There's nobody else in my entire life that I would say is a teacher to me and a mentor and someone that I looked up to and held in such high regard. She taught me the beauty of kindness. She taught me love to strangers. She taught me to help other people when no one else would. And I see a lot of those qualities in me now where I could never pinpoint where they would have come from had it not been for her. My meeting her, I believe, was God helping me. And he really did in that way. And for that reason, she's like an angel to me, always. So time went on. I went to prison as an adult, as most of you know. And throughout that whole time again, she never left my side. She was always there, writing me letters, sending me books, asking me if I needed anything. When I came out of prison, she met my wife. I was so happy to be able to introduce her now to another person that I loved so much as I did her. And they met each other, and it was just unbelievable what she did for me. And we ended up parting ways a little bit. Not for any particular reason, we just lost touch. Life happened and things went on, and she suffered from cancer, and she actually beat it initially. She was able to overcome. She went through very bad chemotherapy and overcame it. But 3 years ago, she died from cancer. It came back and it killed her. And I'll never forget what this person did for me. Never. In all those years of her friendship and kindness to me, she never asked anything of me in return. She never tried to take advantage of me in any way. She was such a pure, good soul. And I hope that I can be like her in that way to any degree is an excellent thing. And I love her always. And I'll never forget what she did for me. So, Gloria, if you can hear me out there, I love you so much with all my heart, and I'll never forget you. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks.